So the first question I have for you is, what was it like coming in as a stepdad to 3 kids who were like in the preteen, teen age?
It wasn't difficult because I watched my mom and my dad always take kids in and have them at the house with all of us, and she just had to make more beds for everybody, but they never turned anybody away because I had my aunt with her twin daughters, and they would stay with us. And
so you had experience.
Yeah. So I had experience, but I didn't know what I did have with the teens. I didn't have, but I got used to that. I mean, I knew I had attitude when I was a teen, so I was, I knew what y'all would go through, and
you could be empathetic about
the
attitudes and the things that we did. Speaking about me and my brother and sister, as kids who had been through divorce and a new person coming in, what is the thing that you wanted us to most know?
I didn't want to be your dad for y'all. I just wanted y'all to love me as who I was, and I was your stepdad. I wasn't trying, when I came into y'all's life, I didn't want to be your dad.
But I think as we got older, you kind of became that anyway.
Yeah.
Like you became our dad because you were around.
Right.
And because you were just present in some of the important places for us too.
Right.
So when you first came on the scene, I remember, I know I was not happy about having another person who was, about to replace my dad or whatever. But I think as we got older and you stuck around and you were there, and you became more of a dad than a stepdad. Whenever you thought of a stepdad, what is the picture that you had in your mind?
I don't know. I just knew I wanted to be kind to y'all because I loved y'all as, as Lucas.
Your son.
I didn't want y'all to feel left out. I mean, I wanted y'all to feel loved too. So.
Well, we appreciate that too. That's one of the big things in the story that I talk about too, is that when a dad leaves them, they kind of feel like, well, nobody's gonna stick around, and like he doesn't send money. There's no responsibility there. But I feel like when you came on the scene, you kind of took that responsibility, and it was very helpful to see that from a stepdad perspective too.
I knew I fit in with Ashley pretty good, but with you and Jared, you being the older ones, it was a little bit harder for me because I didn't know how y'all would react.
Right. Well, we were in that difficult preteen.
Yes, and that was pretty hard because I know there was a lot of times I didn't even think you even liked me at first.
Well, at first I did. It's very.
But you never made me feel like you didn't like me. But it's just there was times
when I hit you that time.
Yeah.
That's in the story too.
Oh my gosh. Over a pig and a dog.
Oh, but I think one of the biggest things that I want kids to get out of it too is that we feel like these stepdads or stepmoms come into the scene and they're going to try to replace that other parent, which sometimes that's a good thing because the parent is completely gone. But if we never open our heart to that relationship, then we never get to know the richness of being loved by somebody who wasn't even your mom or dad.
Right, exactly.
Which I think is a really cool thing because, a mom or a dad should love you because you were theirs, but somebody coming in who has no tie to you whatsoever. And I tell people all the time that, when our first children were born, when you would see them, you'd be like, oh, they look like their puppy. Yeah. So like they were your blood.
They were my blood.
Yeah.
I want to be remembered as they get older. I want them to tell their kids, and then their kids tell,
stories about
Poppy or, the crazy stuff he says, and the redneck stuff.
What is one of the redneck things you say?
That makes my butt crack. I'm fuller than a blood tick on a chihuahua.
Well, I will say that we appreciate you and we love you, and thanks for being a good dad.
Well, appreciate it. Thank y'all. I don't know. I just wanted to be good to y'all. I just wanted y'all to love me like I loved y'all. I mean, that was my goal. January 3rd, that was on my birthday. I was sitting in here. Y'all were gone, I think, with your dad.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on the floor, She was laying on the couch and I was sitting there in front of her, and I just turned around and asked her to marry me.
Aww.
And she said, "Are you sure?" I got 3 kids, and I said, "I know you have 3 kids, and I love them to death, and I think I would fit in perfectly here."
Yeah.
And I said, "I know I'm going to have some work to do with the older 2." I knew then and there she was the one I wanted to marry. And look, we've been married 30 years.
I know.
It's been a good life. I've had a good life with all of y'all, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing.